Hello and welcome to Meetings with Masters. I am honored and privileged beyond words to have Nick Knutson here with us today. Nick, welcome and thank you so much for joining me on Meetings with Masters, where we have elevated conversations with people who are mastering their lives and making an impact on the world. And you are certainly a king of self mastery as of late for sure, and I've met you within this realm of personal development. So thank you for coming and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Gina, for this opportunity to share in this space and to be a contributor for your vision. And I'm truly humbled to be with a fellow master in yourself. So that is very present for me. I'm super humbled, and I'm just really grateful for this opportunity because you are awesome and you have this $1 million smile, and I am truly touched. So thank you for this opportunity.
Oh man, Nick, heart melt. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Nick. I receive that and I appreciate you. And from $1 million smile to another, and plus $1 million body, by the way, ladies. But we'll get to that later. Sorry, I'm blushing. Are you blushing? I am so glad you're here, Nick. You have really just completely inspired me since we first met. And what I've recently learned about you is some of things you've been through in your life that brought you to where you are today. And so, like, how did you get to where you are today? Tell me a bit about yourself, a little bit about your past, and then we're going to learn all about the magical and magnificent things you're doing in the world now today.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Gina, and thank you for those kind words. And yeah, who am I and how did I become me? Well, so physically, I was born like August 30th of 1982. So I'm 38 years old in my physical body. On March 6th, 2011, I was living in New York City for the last 3 years prior, and it was the best of times, and it was also the worst of times because I was in this magnificent city, but I never really truly felt like I got to experience the true heart and soul and love of the city because I was distracted. And I was just like completely selfish, self-centered, and dishonest. And what that really is a clear spelling for is I say March 6, 2011 because leading up into that, I had become a fully blown alcoholic. And so that's why I did not experience New York the way I would really truly like to experience New York, because I was, self-seeking and dishonest and selfish. And I was in a bitter morass of self-pity, and I just could not see what I could not see, or I wasn't strong enough to see what was truly going on and to really do anything about it. So how I got there was because of a dear friend who I would call like my guardian angel, who I went to college with in a small town in Minnesota. He was also living in New York with me, and he had seen enough. He had seen the Nick that he had grown to love and respect through all of our years of friendship, dating back to the first day we met our freshman year in college. And he saw me disappear. And so he did something, like he helped me at least leave New York City. And then when I arrived to Minnesota, this is a long way to say what I'm about to say, but I entered an alcoholic and drug rehabilitation center. And so, so I had my physical birthday, but where it all began for me, truly, Gina, was March 6th, 2011. That's when the spirit of me was born
Reborn.
or reborn.
Would you say reborn? I mean, the
I
spirit of
don't
you was
know.
born.
I suppose I could, yes and no. I don't know if it's an either or. I think it's probably both.
Mm. Yeah. Well, would you say that, when we're born on this earth, our spirit's pure? Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Sure.
And along the way, things happen, right? And so, first of all, let me just back up and thank you for like your honesty, transparency, vulnerability, and acknowledge you for doing what you needed to do to change it, to shift it, to flip your life around so that you could go be, go be and do what you're doing now and changing lives now. And this is so important and powerful. And thank you for sharing your story. And anyone out there, please share this. Please share this interview, because there's so many people that have addictions and fight addictions and go through things in life that lead them to that. So would it be okay if I asked you, what do you think led you to that, and when do you think it started to get real bad? Would that are you up for that?
Yeah. So
Okay.
let me just thank you. I'll just say this and then I'll answer your question, right? Like, my purpose is to be an example of love, hope, and possibility, no matter what, to other people. And so I appreciate you sharing that, like, here's a sober man, and these are very trying times, especially there's a lot of isolation happening out there in the world. And so if there is anybody who is struggling and wants someone to reach out to, I hope they know that they can reach out to someone like myself. So,
Well, thank you for that, because that is so important to hear, and people, anyone watching, know that Nick is offering that you reach out to him. He's been through it. He's understanding, and he is completely 100% an inspiration and an example of love, hope, and possibilities, without a doubt. And he's doing amazing things in the world, and we will get to those in a little bit. But what I want to hear, like how'd you, I know how you got here from March 2011. I want to hear a little bit, only mostly because I think that people can connect to it, especially if they're in the darkness. If they can, or if they're in the darkness and they don't know how they got there, but maybe they might remember something. If you're willing to share some of that, what do you think led you there? And what that will do is maybe help somebody else unlock the prison that's going on within
sure.
them.
So how I'll answer this is I'll just share. Obviously, this is my experience, and I'll just share how I felt.
Okay.
And if I get into how and when or where it happened, that might come out. But how it truly felt. I have never felt loneliness as deep and as dark as I did in the throngs of addiction. And I thought that, one, I could overcome it just through self-knowledge, just because, like, hey, it was right there. I kind of knew it, but I didn't do anything about it. Self-knowledge did nothing for me. And I'll share, here's the real, I would wake up in the morning, just probably I don't even know what time it was, but I would, so here's something I didn't know that I know now, when I was in the deepest throngs of my addiction. So like, as I said, like my friend, uh, my guardian angel friend,
Mm,
he shared with me in a letter that he wrote during my intervention. And but he told this scenario in which, like, he would wake up in the morning as he was about to go to work. I'd be passed out at the kitchen table. I'd probably have I smoked back then, and so I'd have a cigarette that would have burned down. I'd have burn marks on my fingers, and then he would take me, put me in bed, essentially. Like, I couldn't even put my own self to bed, and he would,
mm,
like, take my boots off, put me to bed,
mm,
and then I would know that, like, I didn't even know this, and then I'd probably wake up and there'd probably be a drink, like a leftover drink from the night before, that I had to drink something just to, like, um, function.
mm,
And so, like, I
mm,
became, pretty much, I felt like I became almost like a slave to alcohol and drugs. And
mm,
I felt, I never felt like I had a choice. Like, it felt like I needed to have this in order to function in my life.
mm,
And when I talk about, like, freedom, and
mm,
like, it was the furthest thing from it. And I just want this point to land too. Like, and I knew it, right? I knew something was wrong. I knew that I was probably an alcoholic, but I didn't want to do anything about it. And I even made a stupid commitment to myself that, like I wanted to die by the time I was like 42. I
mm.
felt it. Like, if I didn't change anything, I knew, like, how we manifest the reality. Like,
Yes.
I have a feeling that would have happened to me, and I'm 4 years from that mark.
Wow.
But
Wow.
um, I would wake up, and all I would want to do, like, is just like, I'd wake up to a radio station that I really, like, thought I really enjoyed, and then, like, just like day after day after day, like, the music just deafened, like the meaning of the music just continued to, like, just wash up against me, like water on to a dam, right? Like, it had no impact on me, and I just kept, like, kind of like inner dialogue, like some foxhole prayer of, like, I just want to hear the music again, and to I just want to be of service
Mm,
to people.
mm, mm. Wow.
So
Nick.
that's how it felt. Like, how did I get there? Like,
Mm.
I don't know. I'm sure there were signs along the way. Maybe
Um,
maybe this is just part of my path that I needed to embrace. I don't know. I'm sure there's,
what?
things that happen in my life, that everything happens for a reason. So that's what I truly believe.
Yeah. Yes, I know you do. And what? Thank you for sharing all of that, and thank God for your angel friend who had had enough of your BS and got your butt back to Minnesota and where it needed to be, because that's, because you have a big mission. Um, and like, there's so many people who are going through this, which is why I think it's so important. And I just wonder if there's anything you think, like, did you have a wonderful, childhood? Did you have trauma? Do you think that any of that could have led to it? Of course, there's any number of things that could have led to it, and I don't personally know. I mean, listen, I in college I had friends that, if it's okay if I share for 1 minute, but in college, we went to school right by Georgetown, and there was, like, we were partying all the time. And one of my dearest girlfriends said to me one day, okay, like Gina, enough like mind erasers, like you're stumbling across the street all the time, and that was college, and I'll never forget that though. Like she was concerned about me, and I'm little, um, and it doesn't work well with my body anyway. Not to mention the kind of things we were doing back then. So it's pretty, it's pretty. I know that's a pretty normal for people in their teens and 20s, and although I would love that to change. I would love to think that people can start to become more like, where do you think you'd be if you had self awareness in your teens, in your youth, in your, yeah, teens, which probably led up into it in your life, in your 20s.
Yeah, no. Well, thank you for sharing your story, and obviously, like, you're awesome, and like, yeah, we all have our stories. We probably all have our little, like, perhaps like questions and about, oh, like, do I drink too much, or do I, I don't know, like, and I'm never going to judge anybody. Like, I'm never going to be the judge and executioner on labeling someone an alcoholic or not, unless they say it themselves. And so, but here's what's really present for me as you're kind of asking, like I'm truly, like, truly blessed and grateful that I am an alcoholic.
Mm.
I can't tell you, like, just this morning, like, I was in one of my meetings and we were talking about connection and how important, like, connection truly is. And as I share, like, I was in New York City. I went, like, bar hopping to bar hopping, like, for years, like, seeking connection.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure, like, everybody in the bar with me was probably looking for the same damn thing. And it didn't happen until, like, I was searching in all the wrong places. And then, like, I found that place in the rooms of AA with a bunch of people that have recovered from being in the bar and now in these rooms.
Mm.
And so, like, it's about, like, it has that, like, when I say, like, why March 6, 2011 is so important to me, is because that was the day, like, one, like, the seed of gratitude firmly planted into my life. And then second of all, like, it's that self-awareness that really started to develop,
Mm.
and honesty. And like, I believe, like, honesty, courage, and trust are all parts of self-awareness.
Oh, absolutely. And how about acceptance, right? Accountability. When you start to have that awareness and and then self-love starts to set in, and you're willing to look at yourself. You have to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and say, it's not anybody but me,
Yeah.
right?
And I think
It's
that,
not.
yeah, and like, I, as a, like, in the throngs of alcoholism and addiction, like, all I wanted to do was point the finger at everybody and everything
Mm.
except me.
Yeah.
Like, I took no responsibility for my actions. I just blamed everything on what everybody did to me.
To you, right? Yeah.
And how true is that? That's not
Mhm.
true at all.
No, no, it's a big lie. And we don't know it until we know it, which is why you can't see what you don't see, um, until you're in that place of self awareness and taking full responsibility and like looking in that mirror. And and when do you think? Okay, so on that journey, how long do you think you started to till you started to really take full responsibility? Like you're in the place, you had the intervention. and then you start to become some self-aware. You came out and you've been sober since, if I'm understanding correctly, right? Which
That's
is
correct. Yep.
that is a massive, that is like a huge congratulations, because I know that for people it doesn't happen that way necessarily. So grateful that that is the case for you. So like, do you remember how you felt coming out of there? And then we'll like lead into, where you are now, and like
Yeah.
what happened from
Perfect.
there.
This will tie in really nicely. Um, so in my mad scramble to like the day of my intervention, like I'm scrambling to like throw things together. I didn't even pack underwear to go to treatment, but a book, one single book, made it into my bag. It was called the New Evolution Fitness Diet, and it was that book. So at the time of like those first 28 days in treatment, and then we'll get into this in a little bit, but so like one of the things that was imperative, that like everything, like the success of my sobriety will be determined on my level of spirituality or a spiritual awakening.
Yes.
And the term God gets thrown in here.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I don't know about that. So there's still, I don't know much, right? But so I have this book, right? And it's telling me to move, teaching me the importance and why I need to move and eat as if my life depends on it.
Mm.
And so that's what I started to do. I started to, eat as healthy as I could in a treatment center.
Mm-hmm.
And all I did was pretty much I'd go on long walks and like sprints and runs in the woods, like in nature, just like reconnecting back to the earth. And there was like still snow out there and all this other stuff, but that was fine. But I just kept coming, like that was the only thing that made sense to me.
Mm.
And so in a lot of ways, like in my journey, like I started to gain a level of like self mastery through health.
Ah, okay.
And it propelled me then into joining a CrossFit gym, which I've been an active member for 10 years now. It was also laid the foundation for me to become a chef. And then as I started to my sleep started to improve, just I felt better than I ever had in my entire life. Like I felt like someone just came in, like the sun just hit me and like I came alive, like just by moving my body and eating well. And so like at least that gave me an opportunity to like start to calm my like brain and all my thinking down, because I felt calm, I felt present because I was taking care of my body. And
Mm.
through that presence that I gained through that, like I was then able, it started to slowly like kind of like trickle down into my heart. And I guess I have this saying that it, like through discovering my body, I was able to discover my soul.
Oh man, that is beautiful. That is really beautiful. You discovered your heart and your soul, it sounds like. You know, that it's so you were eating, your body's a temple. Your body was a temple. You made it your temple. You felt how it was your temple. You felt your soul, your soul on fire as a result of making your body a temple. Is that fair to say?
That is great listening. Yes, that is totally fair and 100% accurate to say.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So you liked it so much you started cooking.
Yeah.
for not only yourself, because you were already cooking for yourself. So how did that,
Yeah.
so I want to say, like, I'm just going to back up real quick and share that you are, so let's just share who you are and what you're doing right now, and then we'll lead from there into, what you're doing with it. But you're a chef. Um, what, please
Yeah.
tell us.
Thank you. So yeah, I call myself a guiding chef. So I not only do I help you in, save time in the kitchen, like gain that confidence and just like improve your skills and development as a in your time in the kitchen. But like what really truly inspires me about being a chef is it's about being a connector.
Mm,
Food, I believe, is the dinner bell, right? Like, what does that do? That calls us together.
yes.
And so, like, what food really does is it connects us. It provides like nourishment, like through the food itself and through our relationships, our connections, through the love, and it like nourishes our bodies, our minds, and our souls. And so so I don't just teach you what to cook and how to cook. I teach you who you are
Mm,
as you do so.
wow. That
And
is, go on. That's so
no,
powerful.
yeah. So I just use a cast iron pan and a steel knife to teach you to be, cook confidently, eat healthy, and live radically present. So
That is really, really powerful. And how long do you think, and the world needs it, right? We need to be healthy and get stronger in how we feed our temples. Um, how do you think, so when you came, so 2011, and now here we are, so it's 9 years later. Um, how many things did you have to go through along the way to find that path?
to find my path into
In your,
being a
yeah,
chef.
yeah, the chef that you are, the chef that
Okay.
is
Yeah.
helping people know who they are, not the chef that's just like cooking for like, hey, come, watch my show here, let me cook this for you. No, the chef that's like getting into the soul of the heart and the soul of people through food and helping them get into their own heart and their own soul through the food that they're making and feeding their temple.
Yes, great question. So I have a rule, I have
Yep.
a value, I guess, is to stick with the people that have something you want.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
so early on, um, my journey of becoming a chef, I had two people that really stand out, two men. Um, one lived here in Minneapolis. Well, they both did at the time. One doesn't anymore, but they both came through the CrossFit world, which is funny enough.
Mm.
But one of my friends, to be perfectly honest, I didn't even know he was a chef. He was just my CrossFit workout buddy. I mean, I kind of knew he was a chef, but he was just like so present, and he was such he was so committed to like his family and like being present for them. I'm like, what? You're not like you get this idea of like kind of the crazy chefs who yell, and I'm like, this guy is like the furthest thing from that. And so he really started to like warm me up to like, wow, like this guy's really got something, And then there was another gentleman, another man who came in, and he was had more of a focus on the paleo diet at the time. And um, I just want, like, he had such a strong, fun, vibrant energy. And like, there wasn't many at the time. This was like 2012. Like, you typed in paleo chef, like, he was one of two people, like, in all of like on Google. So, and I'm
Wow.
like, he's in my backyard. This is crazy. So,
Yeah.
I just wanted to learn from both of them as much as I could.
Right.
And so, I had the fun and the magic with my one like chef inspiring friend. And then I had like my other friend who owned the restaurant, and like he told me, like he shared with me like the most important thing that I think I'll ever take away from me. There, like his wisdom that imparted onto me was like, whenever someone comes and sits down at his restaurant, they never know like what the situation is. It could be an anniversary, it could be a work accomplishment, a birthday, or it could be a super challenging conversation. But he says, but he told me that like the most important thing like is to give them the best experience of food that you possibly can, no matter what the situation is. And he taught me like, even if it was the most like flawless night of service, he's like, we're always looking for ways to improve. Like there's always something we can continue to improve on. And so like, there is no such thing as perfection here. Like, how do we continue to innovate, optimize, and continue to grow as a team, rather than it's not about like individuals outperforming other individuals. So he really leaned into how like shared leadership as a model.
In a collective.
Yeah.
A collective. Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, can totally appreciate that. And he was teaching you how to over deliver and give a lot of value, right? Through what you were doing. And that is really amazing. And so did you ever, all right, so did you work in did you work in a restaurant with him?
I worked at his
time?
restaurant. Yes, I
Okay.
did go. Well, I started as like an intern. I'm like, I just want to learn as much as I can. I didn't, because I had it. So for context, like I had come up with the idea to start a business. And so I went to him and I said, you know, his name's Alex. So I'll just, so his name's Alex. I went to Alex and I said, Alex, you know, I've got this business idea. Like, what would you have me do? Should I go to culinary school? He's like, no. He's like, you come intern for me. So I went intern and then started working with him for about a year. And then I just learned as much as I could. And it just so happened that it was a James Beard award-winning restaurant. So
phenomenal. Do you want to name it? Or is it still open today?
Yeah, it's still open today.
In Minneapolis?
It's called Restaurant Alma. It's been open for they're celebrating their 20th year anniversary this year.
Alma, ALMA.
Yep.
I've been there years ago. I lived in Minneapolis for 8 months when my daughter was sick, and I've been there. So
amazing. Yes. All right. Woo.
Okay, I don't remember it well because it was a trying time in my life, but I remember the name, and I remember for sure that we went there because it was a very well-known and very popular and very good restaurant.
Yeah.
And so awesome. So everybody watching, if you're near Minneapolis, you got to go to Restaurant Alma. So then he led you.
Yep.
Go on. Mm-hmm.
And then okay, so I just worked as hard as I could, learned as much as I could, and then I went off to I was like, if I'm gonna do my business, I need to do it now. So I broke off and I went and founded a meal delivery service called Origin Meals here in Minneapolis, which was a fresh pre-packaged meal delivery service. And even before the term ecosystem merger ever was in my vocabulary and in my head, like that's how I grew my business. Was I formed partnerships with the CrossFit gyms here in Minneapolis. We would put a fridge in their gym and we would give them a kickback of the sales through their membership base.
Wow. Great. So you were innovative. You were like creating a business, creating a life for yourself. And so where is that? That is amazing. So like kudos to you for, you had a vision and you went for it. And so like what's happening right now and where are you going with all of it?
Yeah. So I definitely got burnt out from cooking, delivering, delivering. And I loved it. I loved the startup energy of it all.
And
And
did you feel, I'm sorry, I'm backing up for 1 second, but did you feel as though like that you were really helping people connect to the mission that you had, like that they were, connecting to themselves through the food, or was the delivery, it was like the grind at that time?
I would say that the presence I have with food now and what I truly like am connected to with food was not as present then.
Right.
And
Well, that's
so I have no, there's no judgments with any meal delivery service or anything, but I just think energetically, like it was just about the process. It was about getting this done so that we could get these meals out the door. It was just very transactional, I will say.
right. Well, and that was also part of your growth, would you say? Like
Yeah.
that were, it was just part of your growth along the way. You got to do this to get to here. You got to go through this to get to there. Right? That's just, it was part of your journey. So
Yes,
you grew tired of it.
I
So go
did.
on.
And then, so there's a famous like Chinese proverb, like if you give a man a fish, you can feed him for a day. If you teach a man a fish, you can feed him for a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And so when I had the opportunity, I maybe didn't have that presence of mind when I had the opportunity to step away, and I sold my share of the company because I just didn't, it wasn't fulfilling my vision and mission of what I was here on earth to do.
Yeah.
So I stepped away. I sold my share of the company. It's still running today, which I'm super proud of. But I want to teach the man to fish because
Yeah.
I just think, no, I don't think, I believe that cooking is really a language, and it might need a whole new language of love.
Yes. I agree with you. Truly is. Truly. In all ways. Love, when you're pouring love into your food, people feel it, they taste it, you know, they can feel that connection that you had with that, with what you're doing, and with they have a connection with you. So that's beautiful. That's a beautiful mission, because I agree with you. So now you went out and you created Wild Joy.
Yep.
Tell us. Yep. So tell us. And
Yeah.
and you're let's not forget, you're also like coaching men, and like we're not going to end this without talking about the podcast that you're, all these things that you're, amazing things that you're doing. And so tell us a little bit about your business now.
Yeah. So yeah, Wild Joy. So that's just like kind of like the kind of the parent company. So what I do, what I offer, like as a subsidiary of Wild Joy, is what I call the Common Man's Kitchen, and that is there's an online component of it where there's a full digital course that is available, but on the other side of that is where I help others like real estate agents, business owners, accountants. What I do is I come in and I help do team building exercises, or it could be just a rapport building method for their business and their clients. And so I work with the financial advisor, the real estate agent. We bring together the people that they want to have in this, and we do a live cooking class, and we have a lot of fun. We cook some healthy food and drop some serious knowledge on them to try to help them improve their skills in the kitchen. And so that's another side of what I'm doing within the Common Man's Kitchen is doing like live virtual master classes in using food as a way to build food and cooking as a way to build emotional rapport with clients.
That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, and it's fun. And I
Yeah,
think that
so fun.
so fun. Making food is fun. Everybody likes to eat, of course. So like build emotional rapport within your business through a fun fun event with Nick cooking,
That's
and
correct.
showing
Yeah.
everybody, teaching people how to cook. So I think that is totally amazing. And of course, now with COVID, it's been a bit of a challenge, I'm sure, to go into places. So so how did you, so what have you been doing as a result of that? And, I'm sure people can find you online.
Yeah. So, well,
Yeah.
every, there are, I've had this mindset for during COVID and everything going on, that this is happening for me, not to me. And
Right.
so, um,
I agree.
so the virtual platform to have a stage and a microphone or have a class has never been better, right? Like, I know there's some Zoom fatigue out there, so that's why I really think it's kind of fun to and critical to kind of break that mold and like be interactive. And that's why it's like, let's get cooking and let's do something a little bit different. And like, so the virtual platform is actually really good, and I can connect with people, like beautiful people like yourself, who live in New Jersey or down in Florida or Colorado, let's say. So it helps me with my scaling and outreach of my business out well beyond Minnesota.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. And there's one little thing I wanted to mention in there too. Are you also a fitness expert? Do you talk about that? Or are you just like, you're just extremely fit? Are you a model? Like, what is, like, you're
I'm too
very, very
short to
fit
be a
guy.
model. I'm too short.
um, are you, as far as your physique, is that part of your business, or is that just you? That's your temple, and you work out hard, and and you eat well.
It is not quite part of what I'm doing for my business just yet. That may change at some point, or that there might be some innovations that happen. But at the moment, yeah, it's just it is just me. Pretty much just going to the CrossFit gym. So, and I do
Uh,
coach CrossFit, so there is that component to it too.
oh, well, I was going to ask. Okay, so I was going to ask if it was CrossFit and if you were a trainer and all that too. So wonderful. Thank you. You read my mind. Um,
I just don't have
um,
any online offerings at the moment with that. So, but that may change. That may
yeah,
change.
there's all kinds of possibilities, and I just want to say to, like, anyone watching, Nick is one of the most heartfelt people, not to mention man, which is not always the case, right? A lot of men are in their heads. Nick is one of the most heartfelt men I've ever talked to my whole life. I've had the privilege to get to know you through the unblinded movement, which is, how we learn to um, influence people with integrity. And you have so much integrity, you have so much authenticity, and you are, through love and through food, influencing people to take care of their temples. And that's just, it's needed, and it's magic. And I'm like so glad that I know you. So because I wanted to share you with everyone out here, because what you do is important. And so you're doing some other things that are coming down. Like, you work with men, is that true? Like, do you help men? Tell me what you do with, to help men. And let's not, there's some, we did have Frank in the chat that wants us to mention your special salad. So let's not, there is this, this
Thank
well,
you,
I don't
Frank.
even.
Thanks, Frank. I appreciate that. That was awesome. Yes.
I
Mr.
was
Orange,
not really
everybody.
sure.
Mr. Orange.
Mr. Orange for sure, and my friend Natalie's in there. Like, I know, I'm gonna let you lead into all that. So go for it. And what you're doing
Well,
for
okay.
men, what you're doing
So,
for men too.
yeah.
Let's not
So,
forget that. That's
okay.
super important.
Yeah. So essentially what I, like, again, from my experience, the most courageous, or being vulnerable. I'm sorry, being vulnerable is one of the most courageous acts I can do as a man.
Yeah.
And I know it takes an immense amount of trust in myself. And it takes an immense like 425-pound deadlift type of strength to share it.
That's a
But
very good
here's the
point.
truth is that, like, and I know Frank Orange has got no problem deadlifting 425 pounds. I know that right now. But the truth of the matter is like what I'm really committed to doing in the world of men is to help them see their superpower in their heart.
Mm.
And I'm committed to helping men trust in themselves, like no matter what.
Mm. Boom. That is.
And so I'm doing a podcast with the amazing, like magical genie in a lamp, Susan Hum, called The Real and Raw Man, which I'm super excited about. And I'll just kind of, add a little bit of zest to what I feel like could be a combination of both the food and the men's work, which is well, let me just ask you this. So we're gonna get real and raw here, Gina. So I hope you're ready.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, so do you believe that good, or let's say not good sex, great sex, starts outside of the bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen, yes. Beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have a concept, I have an idea, which I'm gonna call likely sex salad. But the whole idea is that, like, one, like, I don't mean like not everything maybe has to be a salad, but just like for men, like eating more vegetables, like eating healthy food, like it's going to help men feel better. It's going to help their physique. It's going to help them perhaps perform better. And so, like, but if they really want that great sex, like, it starts outside the bedroom. So by cooking a meal and like actually like sitting down and being able to then drop into their heart and have a real conversation with the woman or the man that they love across from them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's absolutely. And I think that, it doesn't have to be, the table or the kitchen, the food over the food and the
Or maybe you don't
connection.
even get to eating it, but because it's
I
just
know.
so sexy. It's just like, oh my gosh, like right there on the kitchen counter. Like, why not?
Why not? And then Nick will show you how to get there with his work that he is teaching. And I don't mean he will show you it physically, but he will teach you how to fish. That is the quote, but he will teach you how to cook and how to have a sex salad that will bring you to the most beautiful, probably love and to being so heart centered with your significant other. Um, and, that can only make every day better when you are helping people connect to their heart. And that is the truth. No matter what it is, of connecting to your heart and having heart to heart, true heart to heart connections make an impact on our mood, our life, our day, the people around us, the people out in the world. And that is, in fact, the ripple effect that makes an impact on humanity. So I see that in you. I hear your passion for what you're doing and what you're bringing to the world. And it's just, I'm excited to be on the ride with you because we are both working together, of course, with Susan Hum and the incredible Unblinded team. And I'm excited to watch you grow. And, I want to just mention, ladies, Nick is one of our now judges on the Real Raw role play for love and dating for singles because he is so heart centered and he really can help people see what they don't see and, help guide some of the men along the way. And some of the ladies too, most of them are drooling, but that's okay. I'm just saying, Nick. I'm sorry. Oh, me much.
You're too kind. No, I mean, I'm really like, I appreciate you sharing all those amazing things. And again, like, like, I'm really not that, like it's not that hard. And like, I'm not that special. And I'm not like, I don't want, as Sean Callagy says, like, I don't want fans. I want students.
Yeah, beautiful. Right. That is beautiful. And I feel
Because I
that,
can't learn without other people. And so I need, like, this is a calling. This is like, if this is resonating with you, like, I need to learn from them, and they need to learn, like, I have something I can give to them too.
yes.
This is like, I can't get there all by myself.
No, no, it's I love that too. And I feel as though, even in the work I'm doing and what have you, it's a partnership. Whoever you is following you in growth, like just like you're, it's like it's an ecosystem merger. It's a partnership of growth. Yes, you might be the model, you're the model, you're modeling for people and teaching. And but we're all doing it together. We're all in this together. We are all on this earth together, learning and growing. And as long as you not meaning you, because I know that you're passionate about personal growth, anybody watching is passionate about being a better, version of yourself every day. The world is going to be a better place. And it is because of people like Nick Knutson. So, Nick, I think that might be a good place to wrap this up, unless there's anything else you want to share. Because I know we can go on and on, but we're
We
going on
could,
for.
yes. Let me just, if you don't mind, let me just do a quick scan to see if there's anything that I need to say, and then
Please do.
but just give me like 5 seconds here, and let me just see.
You got it.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, any men out there, did you just see how this man went right to his heart? Can I tell you, men, ladies, can I tell you that we love that? Yes, ladies love that. We want a heart-centered man. And Nick is a beautiful, beautiful example of that. And he is a leader, and he still takes the lead. And I just love you, Nick. So thank you for being here. Thank you
I
for
love you
sharing who
too.
you
Thank you
are.
so much.
And thanks everybody for watching. And if you have
Yeah,
any
thank you.
questions, definitely
Yay.
reach out. Yeah, yay. Reach out. Look for Nick on wyldjoy.com. Look for Nick here on Facebook. Find his, go send him a message. Ask either of us questions. We are so glad you joined us tonight. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening or day wherever you are in the world. Bye.
Bye.